Support for this podcast comes from the patrons at patreon.com/FMLFPL. Okay, we're gonna FMLFPL on the lawn.
This Walsh.
That's I'm in the countryside, not screaming, okay.
Yeah, Alon is still in England.
Yeah.
It worked. It was sufficient, I think.
Yeah. And people who are familiar with my work will realize the okay and where it came from.
Yeah. Won't be too harsh critics on it.
Yeah.
A lot of action this weekend, man.
I can't believe I missed every game. Except like on Gameweek 2. I couldn't even get through half the questions in our Discord because there's so many. And I was like, fuck, I don't know anything. I didn't see anything. I'm just on, which is a reminder that everyone in the UK doesn't see fucking shit. They don't watch the 3 p.m. The 3 p.m. games aren't televised. Everyone watches Match of the Day. It's just.
Because your issue is you went to the game and that takes the whole day out. But even if you're sitting at home, games are just not on TV. You have to go on an illegal stream.
If you're sitting at home, you watch the 12:30. You maybe illegally stream the 3 p.m.s, but I don't think people even do. I think they just kind of go through, SofaScore and Twitter and whatever, and just kind of treat it like an FPL event, not like there's actual matches to watch, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And then there's the night game, so you're watching 2. Then Sunday there's 2 games on. You're probably only getting 1. Yeah, it's just you watch 3 games.
Nuts. Yeah, that's.
And then you watch 8 games. It's just a very different participation.
Yeah. Okay. There's so much. You were at the Fulham game, so you can very authoritatively speak about that game. But otherwise, there's just so much that went on this weekend. But let's just get into it.
I was
otherwise, this is going to be 3 hours.
It's going to be anyway. Let's be real. But
I do have to leave at 4, so it won't be more than 2.
It won't be more than 2. Well, maybe you tease the monologue. Maybe there's another monologue coming. I'll just finish the last hour by myself. How'd you do Game Week 2? I know how you did.
Yeah, triple cap worked. I was actually very, very surprised how many people triple capped. I feel like in years past, this would be such a small percentage of people doing it, but it seemed like it was a fairly decent chunk of people that did it. Obviously I was happy when he was on the brace. I was like, oh God, this worked. And then he got the the last one, which was the sickest one, but right at the death, where it's like, oh, I'll take an extra 12 points. No problem, no problem at all. So that worked. And then it seemed like pretty much everyone got points this week. You flew, everyone flew, every player got fucking points, right? So if you own players, you're probably in pretty good shape.
If you start 11 of them and Captain Holland.
Yeah. Isak blank, Eze blank, Kai blank. Triple Palace. We'll talk about Palace a little bit. I'm not concerned. Yeah. That's a talking point for later on today.
Questions.
I bet we did. And then, AGO boy, that was a really bizarre game. I want to talk about that one. Biggest highlight, obviously, was Bowen. Who should have had a 14-point game. Fulkrug missed a great chance. That would have been an assist for him towards the end of the game. Yeah, and that would have been a 6-point assist, but the 8-point, him coming in, okay. It was bad against Palace. I lost 2 cleans, but I was just okay, Bowen scored on his only shot as prophesied.
Classic
Bowen. Classic
Dude,
Bowen.
I was I wish I should just have my girlfriend on the entire episode because she's with me the whole trip. And we're at the Fulham game, halftime, or it was near halftime, maybe 60th minute or something. I checked my phone. There's an injury. I'm like, what's going on? I see West Ham. I'm Bowen. I swear I told her, I was like, Walsh is going to be so fucking happy about this goal. She's like, really? I was like, you have no idea.
The only goal that mattered this weekend.
This huge goal for Team Walsh. Yeah, he triple captained that guy, but this is the better goal.
The Bowen points were more satisfying. And then, Jota, I'm sure you watched your game. Jota was fucking electric, and Collins was blocking his face off, but Jota looked good in the 6 points. So, I'm good team, have some issues. Zinchenko's still in my team. Maybe it wasn't the best decision.
Your defense
whatever.
Zinchenko, Barco.
Yeah. All right, that's me. So how about you?
But you're doing your 170K, like your dream of starting well and seeing how that goes came together. I mean, if you kind of just average the points from your disaster bench boost and your incredible triple cap, it's like, oh, you got good points from both chips. No problem.
Yeah, give me 21 points
works,
off these 2 chips. I would have shaken your hand on that before the season started.
That's just good.
Fell into different stranger order of chunking, I suppose. But yeah, we're good. We're good. We're rolling. 177K feels great. We're going.
Yep. So
you had a fucking incredible weekend also.
89 points. I'm at 900K. Triple clean. The 666 Devils clean at the back there with Poro, Nico, Trent. Love that. Gordon 10, ESR 10, Mo 10, like fucking dream. Yeah, 10. And obviously a Holland cap. I got my own issues. I have Doku, I have Moonies. Not a deep defense really with the Barco shit, but most of my team, I'm pretty still happy with my picks, feeling good, like nothing urgent really. Just a good ass week. Everything's kind of going according to plan. Not that much else to say. Like the Nico clean NFO, it's just like, I knew you had cells. It's like, dude, this is just that perfect. Was
ropey.
I feel like
that was a ropey
that's
one.
Kind of, like we're not doing a postmortem after game week 2, but I feel like in my head, the narrative was just like, everything's kind of just going according to plan. Yeah. Like the best teams are just winning all their games and all their players are good picks and returning. The other premium picks are like returning in their easy games and blanking in their harder games. Like the teams that we were hoping have good defenses have cleaned their easy games. Like just kind of it's been working,
Yeah.
So
which it seems like a lot of people are sort of off to really good starts, and we're all friends,
And that was the beauty. Like you kept bringing up in preseason, like how they kind of just nailed the pricing, and like. That is still the case. Like, I was hanging out with Baker and Praz, and we were talking about like all the different premiums, and he was like, "I hope Palmer returns tomorrow because, it's good for the game. There's like more, more premiums, more picks, more diversifying of teams." And it's like, that's where we're at right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I want to jump off on that, but why don't we get the housekeeping in so we leave that till minute 30.
League updates. The Slick of Dallas, David Goodbrunson, aka the Slick of Dallas, and first Southend James, aka Wharton, Here's a Who, and Nathaniel Brown, aka No Mystery, is the top 3 for the Mug League. Public League, I don't have up right now, so they'll have to cry their way home. Yeah, there's so much to get into, dude.
Okay. So, I mean, on that, I was thinking about that a lot, that very point of how many good picks there are. And
so many.
I mean, are we sort of is the edge just going hard on fixture runs? Like, is that what we are supposed to do this year and forget being patient and holding good picks through medium or bad pick? Like, what are we supposed to do with this? Because I just feel confused because I'm like in this place with like, Isak, and we'll talk about Newcastle. I want to talk about them a lot today, but like in the past, we're always like, save, do nothing, don't do good picks for good picks.
Right.
I mean, at some point, we kind of have to. I mean, it's, I suppose, a little bit difficult to make a declarative statement on this before Europe starts when we don't know if these good picks are going to be good picks because there might be a lot of rotation.
Wrinkle.
But but how do you kind of see that? Because I'm confused.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a fixture runs. I mean, I think like my one big regret so far this season, 2 game weeks in, is like, oh my God, my free hit strategy could not have been more accurate and like exactly how I predicted it. Like, my game week 2 team, my game week 1 team we covered last week would have had 90 points. My game week 2 team would have had Holland, Cap, 100. Palmer, Son, nailed on. It would have just 100. Absolutely fucking flown.
Yeah.
Right. And the whole point of that was just attacking the fixtures, right? Like that to me in preseason, and maybe now that's changed. When we talk about Chelsea, we can talk about their fixtures. But to me, that was the only game where I was like, that's a really good one. I'm not sure about the other ones. And then City, that also has changed. But that was like, that's the only banker. So that's the only game I definitely want Holland and definitely want to captain him for. And I think that has so far like borne out. I mean, we'll see what happens when City away West Ham. Maybe he fucking braces again. Then it's not true. And Chelsea in some mediocre to good fixtures. Maybe Palmer's just returning in all of these games, and so they were better fixtures than we thought they were. But so far, it does seem like we should have just been attacking the good fixtures.
So I think I am with you on that, and you were really close to doing that strategy or doing what you did. I feel like the appropriate response for you would be to wildcard like almost maybe now or like very early, because then you're going to the team that you were like, this was what I saw and I didn't do it.
Right.
Just to think about it.
Yeah. That's probably worth considering. Yeah. I mean, I'm still mostly happy with my team.
I mean, your team's great, but just like from that standpoint.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, Arsenal's the big one for me, right? I was 100%, I'm triple Arsenal game week 1 if I'm going to free hit, which obviously I didn't. And then now I'm sitting here game week 3. I still don't have Arsenal. They have a banger this week, and they have 2 hard ones. We'll see how it goes. You know?
Game week 3. This one, Brighton might not be a banger. I mean, it could be a tough one.
Yeah,
it could be a tough one.
It could be tough. It's tougher than you think, but they're home,
Yeah. You'd think that they'll score a couple goals and win, but something could happen in that game. And
I don't think it'll be a 2-0, 3-0. I don't think so, probably.
Yeah. And you won't really know until game week 6, and you would have to look back and total the points up or something. But because I mean, I guess it's also looking at the chips, like, and it's, you guys could have easily conceded on a set piece this weekend. 100%. Ollie could have easily buried one of his enormous chances, and Arsenal conceded. They should have. They were good for the win. Should have conceded a goal probably on balance. So, some of these little. I mean, keeping a clean sheet is definitionally lucky, and the break has gone. Like the rub of the green is gone there. But the thing also too about looking at using the chips early is like we can build and prepare with a lot of known information. As much as we don't know, we also know a lot the first couple game weeks, because there's no Europe, there's no injuries, there's no distractions. You can create your team, very using the chips in this way, which with the last double game weeks, accepted as that's something new this year with the rules a little bit. But it feels like it felt good. I feel like I will want to do something similar again next year using chips early, maybe even doing something more aggressive. I don't know, but yeah, it's interesting.
I think I want to just keep, and you have to put work in, right? Which I haven't done. I'm on fucking vacation. I haven't done this at all. But one of my big whole things in preseason was like, this game only exists in short runs. It does never exist in 38 game weeks. And the idea of a 200-point player, forget about it. Doesn't matter. They only exist when they have a good run. And when they have a bad run, I should switch them out for someone else. That hasn't changed, So you need to I think be putting the work in to be like, because it's a moving target. So you literally have to adjust it every week.
Yeah.
But who has the good run now, short term, 2 game weeks, 3 game weeks, who has the good run 4 game weeks to 6 game weeks, and be tracking that and adjusting your team to that, right? We're already 2 game weeks in. I'm looking at Poro, other people have other Spurs assets. I'm like, yeah, that's probably it. I don't need this player anymore. I don't know who else had 2 really good ones and then doesn't anymore off the top of my head, but the same thing applies.
Yeah. Well, Newcastle is a little bit in this boat. I mean, it's
and they didn't come through.
Yeah. That's fair. And it's now that we can stockpile transfers, it makes it even harder. And that's another thing that I'm looking at with my team. And obviously Bowen's not a good, in air quotes for podcast listener, not a good pick. I mean, they were generally and they play home city, but having Rodgers, that's allowing me to possibly save, that I just have Rodgers instead of Winks. If I had Winks and Bowen, I'm like, oh my God, I'm fucked. I have to do something about this now.
I'm starting a 1-pointer this week.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's also the ability to save, because, if you have 4 transfers, then you can do what you're talking about, right? Then you can get in, you can go from 0 Arsenal to 3 very easily, and you're able to kind of remove, you're going to have a couple picks that you don't touch that much, like
right.
just by nature of how many
Keeper,
the fixture runs, wherever that might
defender, whatever it is,
yeah. But it allows you, within reason, to be able to make those big changes. So,
which is a regret of mine. I didn't go Rodgers. I don't have an eighth attacker. I squeezed everything out to try and get some other guys on the pitch. And I mean, Giannis. We'll go back to what you were about to say, but Giannis and Mish were both asking about Rodgers. I mean, Giannis said, should Rodgers be straight into most teams despite his price? They have incredible fixtures. Eye test, yada, yada. Mish said, amazing fixtures coming up for Villa. Would you start Rodgers or only if they start looking good? Would you consider bringing in a Villa asset now? He's so good.
Yeah. I mean, you watched half of the game?
Half the game.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be difficult to do this when, knowing, because I wanted you to. Oh,
God, I saw so little.
But yeah. He's so good. Like, he's just their best player.
He's
right now, he's their best player.
Good.
And I think you should be viewing him as a starting FPL pick for this run. It's Monday, so with a lot of stuff could happen between now and Saturday when the window shuts or whatever. But Leicester, Everton, Wolves, Ipswich, Man United, Fulham, Bournemouth is the run. He's $5 million. He's just great. And he's in the middle. He's attacking. He's a late runner. He's creating. I mean, he has a lot. And it's only open play, and that's limiting because, he's competing against every midfielder, and a lot of them have more than him. But at $5 million, he's just a good pick. Like, he's just a great pick.
Such a good pick.
Yeah. It's more, the issue with the Villas, Ali looks just not fit. And getting subbed at 60, which is unusual for him, and just not offering as much as he typically does. And, they haven't really looked great in either of these two games. So,
but I almost see that as like an upside a little bit. Like, it's like Ali will get going eventually, right? Like, Duran is good. Like, I still believe that they're a good team. Maybe they're not the fourth best team. I never really thought they were, but then they'll get fit. They'll get more guys back. Ollie will get fit, yada yada, and he'll just be good in these good fixtures, I think.
Yeah. I mean, fixtures breed form, but the fitness is a little bit of a worry. Where, the Leicester fixtures obviously good because they are terrible, and then it's the break. So you might see the better of him starting game week 4, maybe like home Everton if they're still in shambles with injuries in a few weeks. We don't know that how good that fixture will be. It'll still probably be decent. I suppose they look like Deitch is about to get fired, but I'm more. I mean, where do you come at with Watkins? Because this is the kind of thing that's so difficult for me right now. Like Newcastle, I think I have a better handle on than Villa in terms of like teams that we thought would be looking just back at how we expect them, and they've been a little stuttering at the beginning. And like, do you still blindly just say like, I still want Watkins, the fixture run's good, I believe and trust him, like I want to get him in? Or is this like a wait and see, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't really know where to come down on that. I mean, Sides and X50 were asking the same because, early preseason, I was thinking like, game week 3, I'll just go Holland to Ollie. That was like totally part of my plans. And right now that feels like the stupidest thing I could ever possibly do,
Right.
He's playing 60 minutes. He's obviously out of form. He's missing sitters. I mean, not that that's anything new really, but I lean towards, like, guess what? Same exact thing happened last season. Literally to a T. Subbed early every game.
He just happened to get 5 points because he got a rebounded assist or fell down for a penalty or whatever.
Fell down for a pen. Like nothing. Missed sitters. Same thing as last year.
I remember that.
You remember that? You ripped him out of your team. 70 minutes.
Well.
Game week 4. 70 minutes blanks
points
against Liverpool. And then he just pops off for the rest of the season. So maybe he's just, he takes a little bit to get going. He's just, there's not really a world where he's not first choice.
No, absolutely not.
As good as Duran looks in his little cameos, that's not happening. So I'm not really worried like his X-Mins or whatever. Like, sure, it's not maybe not 90 like it used to be, but it's still, he's going to start every game, I think. And the fixtures are just unreal. Yeah. And again, like, it's just so funny, right? It's one of those things where it's like, if he braced or even just scored 1 against Arsenal, what are we talking about?
Yeah,
he got 2 sitters.
Huge chances.
Humongous chances against the best defense in Europe. And we're being like, should we? Yeah. It's like, dude, he could fucking... There's another 23-pointer around the corner, isn't there? Yeah. Like, isn't that what that means?
Yeah, you're making sense. I guess the other little wrinkle with them for me is too that the team is infrastructurally very different. I mean, now they have he keeps playing Dean, which is something else. I don't know what's going on there.
It's so frustrating because we both love Matson and he just gave one side.
He's just giving him time to bet in. I don't know, whatever it is. But then Matus Cashews goes down, and the new little child from Belgrade looks like he's a fine player. Like, that's fine, but that's a new kid playing.
Yeah.
Doug's gone. Like, Rogers is in, playing a very prominent role. Bailey's pretty much doing the same thing. Tielemans is playing every minute. He never played last year. Annan is brand new. Like, the cohesion is a little bit of a thing to me. McGinn's playing like as a fucking four. I don't know where McGinn's playing.
Can he fuck off?
He can't fuck off, but that's a thing that is a little bit making me, they've created a couple chances. I'm like, oh my, like I am just so don't know what to make of them. I just don't know what to make of them. Where I'm like, because look, Haaland to Ali is absolutely batshit insane the way that Haaland looks, the way that City look. They have Brenham coming up. I mean, we don't even know if West Ham away is a bad fixture right now. And the main one, though, is Isak to Ali. Like, that's...
Yeah, we need to talk about Isak because I saw 0 seconds of this game.
Yeah.
Everyone has him. And Joao said, Isak, do we hold or sell? And if we sell, what are the options? Bear said, do we sell Isak? Do we buy informed Nico Jackson? Like, everyone's fucking freaking out about Isak. Again, I saw 0 seconds of this game, but I was driving. I was very surprised. I was trying to listen on the radio, which, by the way, have you ever tried listening on the radio?
No.
First of all, I'm driving on the wrong fucking side of the road. These people also, I forgot to mention this to you in the pre-pod chatter we were doing. It's like everyone was going the speed limit. Just like everyone's just going.
Is the speed limit 100?
60 miles an hour. So I'm fucking on the wrong side of the road, passing people on the wrong side, or I'm fucking flying by everyone. I'm like, what's happening? And then also, wrinkle, they also go the speed limit in the country where I am now, which is also 60. And these roads are fucking... No, miles per hour.
60 miles, okay.
And these roads are fucking the width of one car.
Yeah.
Like nightmare roads. It's just fucking crazy land over here. But
you're just trying to listen on the radio to get ripped off.
Yeah, 100%. So I was listening on the radio as much as I can, which is basically very little, but just sounded like, I don't know, Bournemouth were probably a little bit on top, maybe the better team and should have won. And like Isak was like barely involved. Like, I don't know. What are you seeing with Isak?
How much time are we going to do on this one? This is a tough one.
A good 30 minutes at least.
The team, first of all, Bournemouth were by far dominant team for 70 minutes of the game. It wasn't even competitive. It was not a competitive game at all.
Wow.
The team that Edward put out was a laugh riot. I mean, I don't know how... we'll come on to Palace with Glasner, but it almost felt like he was making a point by putting the worst possible team he could out there. Because the minute he made subs, the game went upside down on its head.
Yeah, Barnes looked good on highlights. Hall looked pretty okay on highlights.
Play your good players, and the team plays better. Like, they were non-functioning for 60, 70 minutes, and Isak just had to facilitate so much and drop deep. Like, he couldn't even get shots off. It was just him and they were dropped so deep. Their line was so deep. The midfield they were just springing 2-person counterattacks, doing absolutely nothing. And Bournemouth were fucking destroying them. Bournemouth just have Bournemouth related issues of why they only scored 1 goal. But the minute he took off Jacob Murphy, who's not a Premier League player, and put on Barnes, which he did interestingly move Gordon to the right when he did that. I thought it would... I mean, he was talking about Barnes being able to play both sides, but we know Gordon, cutting in, and Gordon did score his goal going back post from the... back post when he was on the right. So, but the minute, like, Fuck came on, Joe Willock back from the dead came on, and Hall came on, Trips came on. It was just like, oh shit, like, this is a joke. They could score 3 goals in 15 minutes. And it was a complete destruction. And Bournemouth, they almost won the game with that late, goal that got canceled. But it was a little kitchen sinky because he kind of put on all these attackers and, like, surprise, Longstaff is bad. It's like, all these bad crafts. Like, there's no ball progression in the defensive line. Livermento is just
Lloyd
under Kelly, like vengeance. Lloyd Kelly goes back. He can't do anything. It's like no one could do so. Horrible. So that gives me some hope for them. Just looking at, okay, well, he's gonna not do that again because everyone else is kind of fit, and if they
don't make assumptions with Edward. Yeah,
that's fair. Look, I mean, that's the script that I can write. Is that Willock maybe we have a concern.
Tonali's back,
which should help the balance and the legs. I mean, he's not probably ready to start after not playing for a calendar year. And same with Willock. I mean, that third midfield spot is so important in their system because of when they're playing with its fucking Longstaff, it's a joke. You can't do anything. Bruno G and Joelinton are just trying to do an extra. They're just carrying his water, and Longstaff does nothing. So
Joelinton's trying to concede goals.
Yeah, he's trying to kill people and get red cards. Also this year, he's playing his own game. But with Willock, like if Willock plays there, and you put Trips back in, or Hall, or
there's
you
upside.
Yeah, and put Barnes back in, and all of a sudden there's that's a good team, and that's who we thought they were. The bigger concern to me is, look, they have Wolves in game week 4, but they have like kind of fucking bad fixtures. Like, I don't think I really looked too critically at their fixture run because the first two were so good.
Fixtures. Yeah, we had them for the early. That's what made, I think for both of us, I think that's what made no Isak like not even a consideration because like home Southampton, maybe best fixture in the entire league, we just got fucked by a red card. That's all it was. Just nothing else. He still returned. And then, away Bournemouth, good, not great, solid. And then home Spurs is like, again, a Newcastle that's flowing. We've seen it. We've already seen it last year. A Newcastle that's flowing destroys Spurs. They score 5. Like, because they Spurs just play into their hands completely. And it's just Gordon, Isak, insert other player, countering. It's a joke. But now I'm like, I don't know how that game's going to go. Yeah.
And then we have the Wolves, and then it's him next to Ollie with Ollie's good run. And then Fulham, which I don't know that's not good. I mean, it's not bad, but it's kind of neutral. So there's a lot of stress on home Spurs, knowing that they have difficulty away because their next home is City, and then it's home Brighton. I mean, they don't have any home bankers until like game week 16.
Yeah. They really don't.
To me, then you're also looking at that run and saying, okay, well, we know that, and they play one game a week. Like, how much does that matter? Like, is a neutral fixture run with one game a week compared to Ollie with this better fixture run playing on Wednesday?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
It's hard.
And then I'm just sitting here with sitting on my hands, when am I going to commit? When am I going to do the thing? Should I do the thing? And I'm just almost like indecision paralysis or something.
Yeah. I mean, the other factor is just looking more micro. Just look at the 2 fixtures, not like the run.
Yeah.
The next 2, like, am I sure that the Villa next 2 are better than the Newcastle next 2? Like, I do not feel sure about that at all.
That's true.
So that leads my temptation to be like, chill for now.
Just chill. Chill for the next 2, reassess.
Newcastle home Spurs, he's in space all day.
It's home.
Like, it's home. Like, just as much a chance Isak braces as Ollie braces, I think, in, away Leicester.
That's fair.
So I'm going to chill. And then it's like reevaluate, right? Like, if Everton's guys are all still injured and Isak didn't look that good in game week 3, and it's like, well, okay, well, I'm going to Ollie now because that's a ridiculous game.
Yeah.
But
okay.
That's kind of how I'm looking at it. Yeah.
All right. One other note on that game. Semenyo, unbelievable.
Dude.
He's
what
a pick.
The fuck?
He's just,
his
I think he's the best.
Were insane.
Yeah. I think he's the best 5-5 mid. I mean, it looks like he's just, I'm the best player on the team now that Solanke's gone, and everything is going through me. That's what it's looked like. And
it's 7 shots, and he had 1.6 expected goals assisted.
Yeah, he was he was just unplayable.
Created 2 sitters. Yeah,
yeah. And look, he's playing with. There's a few backups in there, but Joel and Bruno G are no mugs, and they still have. Dude, he's fucking
so big.
He's gonna have if he stays fit, he's gonna have a lot of numbers at the end of the season. He's probably jumped up to my favorite 5-5 mid because of the brittleness with ESR, I think, and the role is a little bit different there.
Oh my god, I forgot to mention the Fulham game, dude. I don't know, you probably weren't watching that game live, but
no, I didn't.
ESR went down in like the 10th minute or something after a corner. Yeah. My stomach, dude, I was like, this is it. He's out for the season. Like, never getting SR. I'm a fucking idiot. Like, he's a piece of shit, broken. And then, like, 20 minutes later, I'm like, SR, let's go. And freaking out. Yeah. Girlfriend's jumping up and down. Doesn't even know what's happening. It was a beautiful moment.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you never want to see something end that way.
Oh, God. When he was down, it was tough. It's tough.
But it's back with Semenyo.
Yeah, good.
They have a really bad run until 10, but 11, Brentford, they have a good run from 11 onwards. He looks like he's primed to have a huge breakout year.
Yeah, Bournemouth. Can't even find them. What are their fixtures?
They have Everton, Chelsea, Liverpool, Southampton, Leicester, Arsenal, Villa, City.
Oh, so, I mean, you want him for Southampton, Leicester is so bad.
But it's sandwiched between 5 horrendous
away
games.
Liverpool and home Arsenal,
Yeah. I mean, my team's a little bit different.
He's 5'5". You could rotate him. I might
have a little room to do a diddle here. We'll talk a little bit more about my team later on later on in the week as well. But yeah, Semenyo, looked huge to me in this game. And
Yeah, just for those who don't know what we do here, I mean, especially in this week, we're just going to fucking talk. I don't know how many questions we're going to get to. We're probably not going to talk about our individual teams yet, especially with cup games this week. And then on Thursday, Patreon pod, we'll focus way more on our teams and try and get through the rest of the questions. That's just how we do it.
Yeah.
So that was the Isak questions. I mean, there was also a couple other forward questions. And Jacob J has DCL. He said, fuck my life. Should I just hold and hope for the best, or is it actually worth the transfer? I feel partially responsible for that. And then
me too.
It feels bad. And then
BVD
said,
also, same boat.
Oh, God, BVD. He should have scored like 2 in Gameweek 1, but we fucked everyone. And then Steve said, did we all overlook Welbs as a Solanke replacement? Clearly the first choice striker in a well-oiled Brighton attack. Should we be planning to get him in Game Week 4? Someone we have spent literally 0 seconds on.
Yeah, I mean, why would we? I mean, there's a few questions here.
Now.
Yeah, DCL, emergency transfer out. Yes, I would do anything in my power. I would hit him out. I would transfer him out. I would downgrade him. I would upgrade. I would get any other player. I would get anyone else. They are the most dysfunctional team in the division by a lot, and that's saying something because there are some dysfunctioners. Yeah, they're outpacing Wolves right now. So that's DCL box. Apologies, that was we fell down on that. I think our previous love affair was clouding our judgment. We had the
love affair, but we both decided to not go.
Didn't get him for a reason. Okay, and then Welbs. I historically have never been able to very healthily analyze Welbs. Always been a good player, never plays.
Always good, never plays.
What to make of this? I don't know. I mean, what's the read? I have no clue.
Yeah, if he keeps starting up top, he's going to get a lot of points. I mean, straight up, I have no doubt in my mind. They have so much creativity around him and so many guys who can just single-handedly like carry it into the box. Like, there's really no reason. Like, him getting huge chances doesn't feel unsustainable to me at all.
No,
like,
they should be creating big chances all year.
All the time. It's just like, beat a guy, cross. Like, 1-2 to Welbs. Like there was that goal he scored. I don't even remember who they played in the first game week. It was Everton, obviously. And it looked like, when you first saw the goal, Pickford, like, obviously should have saved that. What was he doing? And then you just saw the behind angle on the replay, and it was so cool because it was like Minta on one side, Matoma on the other side, just crashing, and the center backs are just like doing banana split in the middle of the box. Like, where the fuck do I even go? And Will just like caresses it in the corner. Pickford's like, what am I supposed to do? You know, like, he could lay it off here, just slots it. But
Mike Keane, not where he's supposed to be. Surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The issue Brighton there is Ferguson. Yeah, Brighton are fun and cool. They had good patches against Man United. I mean, that game felt like it was months ago, even though it was 3 days ago.
Oh my God, yeah.
They have the new 8 they just bought, the Scandinavian Irish O'Reilly or something.
Yeah, O'Reilly.
Rooters in.
There's so many guys.
That's one thing that does my head in. I don't understand. I have no remote comprehension how he's going to keep this squad happy.
They don't have Barco.
They do not have Barco. No problems there.
Literally one person in Hertzla's entire universe that was surplus, and that's Barco. Everyone else is like, I need more players.
Yeah, he looked at that spot on the team and said, this is easily the thinnest position on the team. Let me get rid of the only one I have so I can play the Hinchelwooding, who is a right back at left wing back. That's what this little...
rinsed to absolute fuck against Man United.
Yeah, repeatedly.
Because why wouldn't he?
Because he's not that's not his position. So they have a lot of names and numbers and creative and João Pedro probably not going to spell ball. So it's Ferguson who's the only real option to spell him. He's going to want to manage Welbs a little bit, and playing one game a week helps, but he's probably going to get subbed late in games frequently. But I'm with you. I mean, if he's playing, if he's fit, which he is now until he's not, and it would be surprising if it was game week 8 and he's still fit and he started all 7 games.
Really
that would stun me.
Yeah.
The iron's hot. It's not, you're not buying right now before Arsenal. If you have him, you probably want to bench him, but Ipswich and NFO are right after that. So
home. Yeah.
So seems good there.
Yeah. And João Pedro also, just a good pick, right? I know he only has the one goal, but he still has pens. He still looks good. He still hits the post. He still creates chances. A lot of avenues.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more concerned about him just because all of the names that they just spent 50 mil on multiple players.
Yeah.
He is someone that could just get rotated, and just be on the bench any given game because there's a lot of competition for that spot. And he's also not getting into, the goal was a point blank goal against Man United, but generally, he's playing a lot more facilitator role and he's a lot more outside the box, shots from outside the box. And, he's kind of making up numbers and keeping the ball ticking along. It's almost like his job is to sort of facilitate the ball getting to the wings for Matoma and Minta to kind of Minta on Man United that game. I fucking don't know what he was. He was hammer drunk in that game. He was
still concussed a little bit, yeah.
He had to have still been just a teeny concussed.
Ears were ringing, yeah.
But Ruder, he plays this position. They just put him for 50 mil. They have all these
10
guys.
and 9.5 and 9 and Welbs plays 9.
So doesn't
Pedro plays.
It's
I don't know what
so
the fuck
doesn't
he's doing.
Ursula
thinks they're in Champions League. He's ready to run out 2 different 11s. We're in Champions League. It's going to be a tough season, and then he's not in Champions League.
Or maybe all he wants to do is have 11v11 full scrimmages in training, just that's all they're going to do. And they have 2 complete first team. I have no clue, but there's a lot of guys. And I agree with you.
There's still time for them to sell people, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, behind the scenes, maybe they're talking to so-and-so huge team about Matoma or someone. And then they're just oh, this makes a little more sense now. They have
that's possible.
Stockpile, but
that's possible. They just have, I don't know. They just have so many guys, but
so many dudes.
But yeah, they're obviously not a buy right now with Arsenal on the horizon.
Yeah,
good looking team though. They're going to be good this year. They're going to be in between 10th and 6th. I feel pretty confident in that. It's just a matter of where they fall. But yeah, a lot of good picks. Welbs, João, sure.
We got to talk about Palace, dude.
No.
Well, let me read some questions. Aaron said, talk to me about Eze and Palace D. Should I be binning Hendo? Is Eze worth the hold? Side said, how's your perspective on Palace shifted after the opening 2? Seems like Glass might be missing Elise and the defense looks shaky. And then Chris G said, how are we feeling about Munoz? I'm currently considering a double move to upgrade him to Porro or an Arsenal guy. Has not been going well, man.
No points. I feel like Frank de Boer era. This is where we're at after 2 games. We have no goals and no points and a lot of misery. It's a complicated question. There are a lot of areas and positions and things to discuss. So where should we begin?
Let's start with a little trivia.
Can you make it clear? Yeah, more simple for me because my head's going to explode.
I want to start with a little trivia. There's only one other 4-5 who's started both games who has less points than Hendo. Can you name him?
A goalie?
Only one keeper who started both games and has less points than Hendo's 3.
Well, it's not.
I'll give you a hint. He has a 2-pointer and a negative 1-pointer.
McCarthy.
No,
not McCarthy.
Naka has 6.
Oh, Sa. Yes! Fucking
saw,
Saw.
dude.
Oh my God. He's so
good.
bad. Well, we'll talk about that and how fucking
That
horrendous he
game.
is. How long have I been shitting on Saw for, honestly? How many years?
You've hated him for decades.
Since after 6 months of him arriving. He's
His
so
beard,
bad.
He didn't even have a beard when you started shooting on him, and now he still looks like fucking Ganondorf or Gandalf, whatever fucking thing it is.
Ganondorf is from like
Dumbledore.
Captain Falcon or something, right?
Ganondorf is from Zelda. Gandalf, I think, is from Lord of the Rings, and Dumbledore's Harry Potter. I got it. I got it on lockdown, dude.
You got the G's on lock.
I got it.
The defense has been fine. I mean, it's been absolutely fine. We were a little bit stressed this last game, and it looked really bad when he made the subs and made our team demonstrably worse. So I wouldn't worry about the defense long term, but immediate term, it's a worry because the fixtures are kind of bad, and it really puts more stress than you could ever possibly want or imagine on the home Leicester game in Gameweek 4. Because at Chelsea is bad, and they look like they have two very, very strong first team attacking sets that they could just play 45 and 45, and you're just kind of in trouble. So keeping Chelsea clean in general this season feels like a nonsense, and that just isn't going to really happen.
Stamford Bridge,
yeah, just isn't really going to happen or be a thing. So you're really looking at that Leicester game as like, holy shit, if I'm holding this guy through 3 blanks and then they don't clean Leicester, I'm really giving a lot of points to the field on this spot in my roster. So, and you do probably want an exit strategy, because one thing I will say with Munoz is, and we're still, look, he fucking played Edward, which I'll come on to a little bit later, but
oh my God,
Munoz is not attacking as much as he was last year, and surprise, losing like one of the best players in the league at right wing, who is a pace merchant and a monster in Olise, like freeing up space and him. So like underlapping and overlapping, to having to learn how to do that with someone new is just, it's going to take time. And, maybe that's an issue where, I don't doubt that the wingbacks, him and Mitchell, will be good and make their numbers at the end of the season, but it doesn't look good now. I will say that. Yeah. So after the Leicester game, it's Man United, then it's at Everton, which, it's still Goodison, then it's Liverpool, then it's at NFO, then it's Spurs. So it's not a good run, and the attacking threat right now doesn't look good enough to look at this spot and feel like this is a comfortable hold if you're looking at it objectively. I mean, for me as a Palace fan, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just keep my 3 Palace and things will be fine.
Yeah.
As an actual FPL player, if I'm, giving, like, that should be a spot that you're looking at critically, because there are a lot of really good defensive picks, both at 4-5 and both up the ladder, at a higher price point. And also with Mitchell, right? I mean, I know no one really owns Mitchell besides me, but he's been dodging points like a master. I mean, he's had a few assists that he could have come in with, some not such great finishing. But, Mitchell is still, and Munoz, they're still playing wingback. And there aren't, 12 players in the league that are getting into positions they do. Like Munoz is still making back post runs. Mitchell is still playing at wing at times. It just hasn't worked so far for points. So it's a frustrating one with the defenders, because they have no points and everyone else has a lot of points, right?
Yeah. And it feels like they should have points. It doesn't feel like, oh, I made a huge mistake. I picked like awful picks who are not doing the thing that I thought they would be doing. It just feels like, fuck. I picked good guys and the cross isn't landing in the right spot or something.
And like for me,
like Mitchell probably has as many crosses as like any other defender in the game right now, or like close to it,
Yeah, and just watching both games, I mean, he's very threatening. He had one really good shot attempt in the Brenham game. Like, he looks like he's going to just get attacking returns. He'll probably get 7 to 9 total attacking returns this year is what I would anticipate. I mean, for me, like I probably am going to just sit for after the Leicester game and look at it, but it's a worry. It's a worry for sure. And then on the Eze side of things, I mean, selling him is the dumbest thing I could possibly imagine. I mean, if you...
He should have a return in both games. He should have a goal in both games, probably.
He has a goal. They just
he has the goal. They
ref
just
made
took it away.
They took it away for nonsense because the refs make mistakes sometimes, and he's at the center of everything. I mean, he was near points both games, literally all game. You are an absolute fucking idiot if you sell Eze. That's all I could say. But I don't care about the fixtures. I mean, it's just like Bumo. He has pens.
It is
everything
like
goes through him.
It's like Bumo. Yeah,
he's everywhere. He's fouled everywhere. He's everywhere. He creates everything. He's the best player on the team. Could not be further from a worry. He's the kind of player that you panic out, and then in 4 game weeks, he scored, 24 points, and you're just like, oh, that was dumb. I spent a transfer and I got someone who got me less points than Eze. That's how it will go.
And you excuse your way out of it, even though deep down you made a mistake, you know? Because Eze is the exact type of guy who's like, oh, he scored a worldie and got a lucky pen. It's like, but like, he's gonna score worldies and he's gonna score pens. We know this. Yeah,
and he was 3 inches away from scoring on. He hit the bar on the game against Western. So, and we also at Chelsea, we're talking about that from a defensive standpoint. It's pretty good for attack. I mean, they're open as shit. I mean, their spacing is out of control. So there will be space and there will be chances for us in that game. So Eze is an absolute rock solid hold.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I like the
and I
Bumo
would buy him.
comparison.
I think he's a buy.
I think he's the Croydon Bumo. Like he's shooting 5+ times every game. He's hitting the post every single game. Pens, corners, everything. Every box.
Edward.
Really good pick.
Oddson, actual fuck Edward, dude.
You hate him so much, and you should.
It was unbelievable. Firstly, that he started over a healthy Kamada.
Starting him?
So this is now where all this shit with Glasner freaking out and saying all this like uncharacteristic shit.
What did he say? I didn't see any of this.
He's basically saying like he needed reinforcements and the director of football is making these decisions, even though they're obviously in the best interest of the club. Like selling Anderson for money is great. Selling Olise is out of our hands.
Selling Jai is great.
Yeah, I mean, but I think he's just upset with some of that's going on. And from a standpoint of, hi, I'm Glasner and I want to leave this club within the next year to manage Bayern, I get that. But that doesn't come across well. To me, it looked similar to like Edward, actual W. Edward, making a statement of like, this is who I have and go buy someone for me, because playing at Oddson Edward in this game over Kamada and Sar is fire. That's fireable. Like position. To me, not only that, but he didn't rip him at halftime when he was shocking in the first half. Shocking. Like he's just such a fucking brain dead moron. He's offsides, just an idiot. All he is a 15-minute sub when you're chasing a game to just throw him in the box and hope he accidentally does something good.
Yeah,
he fucking shots, killed us.
But he's bad.
He lost the game for us. Him and Lerma had a hard game. I mean, Hughes was knocked, really was missing Hughes. Lerma had a very difficult game in the middle of the park. But that's why we lost the game. If we had Kamada or fucking Sar playing instead of Edson, we probably scored 2 goals in the first half. I mean, we were good. We were rocky in the first 15, and then the next 30 was just like, oh, we are just better. And it's just insane. It was absolutely insane. And then he makes the sub, and the sub was all even. Here. And the sub was even worse. Like putting in Kamada in midfield, it's like we're just a mess. We're just conceding chances at will because the whole balance was fucked. It was just ridiculous from Glasner. I mean, this game is on him 1,000,000%. First game since he came in that I will hang on his shoulders, but he had a disaster game, absolute disaster game. So, hopefully that that irons itself out and that doesn't recur. But yeah,
worrying.
It was very annoying, very worrying. Yeah, very annoying.
Should we talk about Chelsea?
Sure.
So Side said, what are the chances Enzo settles on the obvious best combo, Neto, Palmgod, Madueke as the 3 in the 4-2-3-1, and either of the cheaper guys are picked, so Neto or Madueke? Guy said, what do we do about Chelsea? Do we just get Palmer for this next run of 4, or assume the Wolves game is a one-off overperformance and wait for a cheaper asset to emerge? And then Voltaire has Nkunku. Is that Nkunku replacement if you already have Rodgers in the SR, which is a crazy team?
I mean,
Palmer
I don't think
doing as expected.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's going to like this answer, but it's Palmer or no one to me.
Yes.
Like very, very clearly until they get eliminated from Europe. there's just, you can't tell me this is the best front three. I mean, they have 6 players who are all fucking amazing. And based on the tactical and the fitness and the who's doing what, or which of the 2 games Europe and domestic league is he prioritizing, he could play anybody, as we've been seeing with Nkunku. So you're just going to be getting so much minutes cannibalization on everyone except for Palmer that you're just going to be chasing your tail and probably just chasing points and not getting them, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's literally not even another attacker in the entire team who started both games other than Nico, who got subbed off in 60 in both.
Yeah.
So we don't even have like an inkling of like, okay, yeah, Madueke scores a hat trick. Maybe he'll start the next game. Sure, if you want to go that logic. But, Neto deserves a start. I don't think he's just going to banish Mudryk to the fucking shadow realm. Like, yeah, they're just going to... João Felix, boom, comes in, instantly scores.
Good. Hey, he's
really
pretty good.
And Nkunku, he's going to start some games.
Yeah, he's still there. I mean, he could play an 8 or whatever, but yeah.
The bottom line is, and again, like I was on radio, I saw highlights, that's all I saw, but like, oh my God, Palmer is just...
Yeah.
For those who don't remember, on the postmortem, we were kind of talking about Palmer, what's he going to come in at? We kind of settled around 10.5, so we were right on that. And then we both agreed, like, that might be underpriced. Yeah. Like, he might be the next, I'm 12.5 every season. I'm the fucking best thing ever. And you watch him, and you're just like, yeah, he's just picking up exactly where he left off. This guy is too good.
Yeah, I think I'm still in the denial phase that he got 17 points because I haven't been like, this is how I'm going to get him in, or like, I'm going to get Palmer back. I just want to be like, no, like, I'm not going to think about it.
That highly owned, and like, we both still flew, which is still, so I'm like, it's fine.
He is, but not in our echo chamber. He's 37%.
Not in the echo, not in the echo chamber, but this is the season of you can't have everyone. That is the fucking slogan of the season because there's too many good picks. You can't have everyone. You just need to get as many points as possible. Forget about ownership. Doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. But yeah, Palmer, very good.
So, with Palmer is just, look, Wolves, they're in a lot. Bad. They're in a lot of trouble.
They're a lot of trouble.
Bad. That aside, this is a really good run for Palmer. Like, it's Palace, Bournemouth, Western, Brighton, NFO. And then there's a run of 4 that's really bad. So you have this...
The time is now.
The time is now. You have a shrinking window. And, there were worrying things in the City game, but there should be worrying things when they play City. In the Wolves game, his movement is just ridiculous. Like, he makes his mind up so quickly about where he's going to go, and he just either takes players out or he just gets open. And his balls are always weighted perfectly, and he takes shots. Like, he is an interesting one, like we talked about, being a 12. Yeah, has pens, has some set pieces. Him and Saka get kind of compared a lot because they're both 10, and they're sort of similar.
Both young and English and whatever.
The main difference is Saka has a very hard cap on his FPL potential because of how constricted he is, like, tactically, and what Arteta's doing with that team. Palmer is playing on like a rec league team who's just open and running all game. So Palmer does not have a cap. Like, he could finish with 40 returns this year, and I would be like, oh yeah, definitely. Of course he got 20 and 18 this year because they scored 1 million goals and he got 6 pens, and he's a fucking incredible player. So
it's like, would you rather have an attacker on, this Arsenal or like 13-14 Liverpool, and it's just like Suarez, Sturridge, and Sterling just sprinting at the other team's defenders all day, and they don't give a shit if they concede 10 because they're going to score 11. Like, obviously you want that.
Yeah. And I mean, Palmer, like, if you're saying, do you get Saka or Palmer? Yeah, Palmer's not even close to me right now. If you're
not
buying,
even close.
It's one, because I think if the fixtures are equivalent, I would still choose Palmer, but the fixtures are not equal. Palmer has a great run. Saka has a bad run. So, but I've seen a lot of people like looking in at getting in on Saka with, the Brighton game and stuff. So
Gameweek 6, that's when you want him. That's when you want him. Gameweek 6, that's when, that's when it leapfrogs the other way. And it's just like, Arsenal, home Leicester, home Southampton, away Bournemouth, like, fuck yeah, get in. We saw last year, right? Like, they're going to be a conservative team, but they're also going to score 5 or 6 sometimes because these teams, they're just going to fucking step on the throat. And that's when you want to jump on them.
Yeah. But yeah, Palmer looks really good after that game. I mean, the passes are side pass assists, and people are kind of looking at that.
Yeah, the hat trick of assists was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's noisy, and also they could have scored 9. You know, I mean, 6 is fair, I think, but they could have scored 9 goals in that game. Yeah. And Palmer's just everywhere. He's everywhere. If he's not hockey assisting, he's getting an actual return. So
yeah, I think other than the João Felix goal, he was part of every single goal.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's fucking amazing.
Like, even the Nico goal, he took the corner. Like, he didn't get the assist because fucking dumbass Lamina flicked it or whatever.
Yeah,
but
flicked it on or whatever.
And I mean, like, obviously, you know, it is a worldie. And don't let anyone tell you it's not a worldie. But his goal was just like, oh my God. I saw it. I had to rewound it. I saw it again. I rewound it. I was just like, oh my God, that touch. First time lob. I was like, oh my God, this guy is just ridiculous.
He's so classic.
But how the fuck, what team is getting him? Like, how the fuck is anyone getting him with 2 frees?
I don't know. That's the problem.
I'm not going to Mo to him. I'm not going to Mo to him. Maybe I should. Yeah. But Mo's next to her home NFO home Bournemouth.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, like, to me, I could easily get him, but I don't want to get rid of good picks. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I want Trent. I don't have Trent. We haven't even talked about Trent.
I know.
My defense is fucking 2 Palace defenders. Like, this isn't my problem. Like,
2 Palace defenders, Barco and Zinchenko.
Yeah. So what am I doing? I'm spending transfers to get Palmer in?
The season of you can't have everyone. Yeah. You just, some teams you really just got to look and say, like, this is my path and I'm just not going to get him. And I'm going to, guess what? I'm going to make up the points elsewhere. And Palmer can go fuck himself. That's has to be your attitude.
But I'm not making the points up if I have Zinchenko, Mitchell, and Bowen.
Listen, you got 95 points this week, and you're fucking flying. Absolutely
I'm just
flying.
saying, I want to consolidate, and I don't want to, you know, that's where I'm coming from. You know, where do I go now? What do I do now? Because my team is very imbalanced now. Like, I have wasted 0.5s in places that where it could be, you know, better served. And, you know, how many transfers it requires for me to do that is worrying, but that's a separate, that's more for Thursday.
I mean, if you were to ask me pre game week 1, I'd be saying, this is when you get rid of Haaland. I know he just banged a hat trick. I mean, 2 of the goals were just jokes. They didn't even happen in the real world. I don't know what, you know, Matrix universe those goals happened. And then, you know, he scores a worldie. But, like, it's just really hard after a guy scores a hat trick to be, like, objective about it and be like, well, I'm sticking to my plan. And, like, I know they have home Brentford soon, but, like, forget about it. And I just go, you know, double move him and your worst mid to Palmer and whatever forward in the game. Like, that's good, right? Like, that has to be good.
Yeah. I mean, that's a bigger one on the game week 4. Because, like, for me, right, I could do Haaland and Bowen to anybody, right? But is Palmer better than Mo? They have a very similar fixture.
But maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Because then it goes back to the captaincy of, you know, game week 4 having Haaland, you know, it's because that's where then to me, I'm a couple steps away from, I should just wildcard. Like, why would I not wildcard?
Just reset the whole team.
Yeah, reset. I know enough. Why would I not wildcard?
You know who you want.
I'll keep a couple guys. I'll change a bunch of guys, and then I'll have it set up where I can turn this Palmer spot will be or the Palmer, Mo, Saka will be 2 of my spots, you know, and my whatever, like.
Right. Like, you could build a team that's like Haaland, Mo, Palmer with all the now we know cheap, good enough picks to, you know, fiddle around with a couple 5-5s or Rodgers, like whatever. And you could probably make that team and make it good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'm going to wild card. I mean, it's before the international break too, which feels bad. But anyway, going on. What else do we want to talk about? Wolves. Yeah, Wolves are bad. Let's talk about Liverpool.
Yeah. Good team.
Good team.
Yeah. Good team, but I want to addendum really easy 2 games. Not that any game's a fucking free win or whatever, but like I see people going nuts about them. It's like they won 2-0 away Ipswich. They won 2-0 home Brentford. Like, they should win those games. You know, like everyone, you know, we don't actually know how good they are yet, but their run is still mostly really easy games. So it's a good time to jump on them still.
Yeah. I mean, this is the benefit that Man City, Arsenal, and Liverpool have above all the other teams is they only have 4 bad fixtures the whole year. The rest of the teams have 6. And it sounds like a small margin, and it is. It makes a big difference, though, when you jam one horrendous fixture in a batch. When you do that twice for every team, that you don't have to do it for these 3 teams. So the fixtures are always going to be better for those 3 teams than every other team in the league by that nature of not having to play themselves. So the one thing with Mo is, I mean, obviously I'm behind a couch whenever I don't have Mo. That's the nature of not having Mo. And it's so hard for me when you have Mo and I'm watching him, wanting him to blank, because I'm like, well, I want him to do well for Alon and I want him to blank. And I'm like so close to getting away with it. And then I'm just like, oh, there it is. He's getting so many bonus points.
Left-footed
How the fuck is he getting bonus points?
The rules? I don't know.
I don't know.
Insert above average FPL.
Did you see they changed bonus points for the Saturday game on Sunday? Did you see that?
Didn't see that.
They literally... Anthony Robinson went to bed on with 1 bonus point. Sometime during the day on Sunday, he got 2 bonus points. Sometime during Gabriel had 1 bonus point at the end of the game, for hours after the game, all night. Sometime the next day, literal on Sunday, Gabriel got an extra bonus point. Like they're adjusting the bonus point literally 24 hours after the games. Like, it is absurd. This shit, like from a UI standpoint of just
they put a bonus point under their pillow. The bonus point fairy comes, delivers them a bonus point. It's fucking delicious.
It's insane. How fucking hard is it to count up ball recoveries and count up fouls? Like, why do you need a day to do that?
I'm trying ridiculous. To think that if anything changes, but as far as I know, nothing changes. There's no one shot that was on target wasn't on target, or vice versa. No, there's no way. There's that many corrections.
I don't know. That happened, just to fill you in. That's something that happened with yesterday.
Mo. Is that why you brought it up?
No. Mo was solid on his number. Okay. Let me look at that game, because he wasn't in question. But I think like Virgil and I don't know. That game wasn't affected. But looking at Mo, right? He got, on a single return 2-0 goal game, he never gets a bonus point. Never.
Yeah, and especially not even the game-winning goal.
Yeah. I mean, he never has gotten that, I would say, in his career in FPL. And for him to just score a goal and get 2 bonus points he's going to get an extra, 18 or so points this year for for doing the same thing he does every year.
He gets 30 plus returns every season he's been in the league. Yeah. And his bonus is under 30 every season he's been in the league. He's literally never eclipsed 30.
Yeah.
He's on pace for historically high bonus points. I actually need to maybe listen to above average FPL, because I care so little about like game by game, baseline, underlying bonus, but it actually does seem very different this year. I mean,
goals are so much higher rated.
Yeah, the goals especially for forwards, are just auto max bones. Well, definitely not defenders
at all.
Poro can barely sneak a bone and fucking dongs. But Adam, the other guy on above average FPL, tweeted the other day. He was like, he tweeted this after the first West Ham game where they were fucking awful and lost, and he was like, Kilman and Maverick Bonas had like really high baseline bones, like they never had that under Moyes. And then fast forward to Gameweek 2, they beat Palace 2-0. Kilman 40 BPS, Mavro 30 BPS. They get 3 bones and 2 bones.
Well, Kilman got an assist too.
He got an assist, but still, he's way highest in the game. No one was even close.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's going on there? Are they just like monstering
CBIs or something? Or really
CBIs, pass completion? I have no idea, but there's something going on. But Mo's going to get a lot more points. He's a really good pick.
Yeah, he looks great. Jota also looks fucking amazing.
Jota looks so good. Diaz also looks so good.
Diaz looks amazing. Yeah, I mean, the one thing with them, good.
No, I was imagining, I was fantasizing earlier if there was someone in the world that went just Diaz, Jota, Mo. Like, I'm jamming all 3 in. As soon as the rotation gets weird or one gets dropped, whatever, I'll make a transfer. But like,
I mean, you're on a lot of points if you started with those 3.
You're on a fucking million points. Yeah.
The defense though, Trent and Robbo was,
dude. I mean, Robbo's a pick.
It's exceptionally hard for him to actually do the goal. He does not do the goal very much, very often.
One every 3 years.
One every decade. But the positions he's getting into underlapping, and the difference with this team and what we were used to the last couple of years under Klopp is just like the defense looks amazing. They're just not selling out that much. And
they're not risky.
Yeah, Trent looks ridiculous. I mean, every game he should get multiple assists every game. He's underlapping, overlapping, on set pieces. Just a ridiculous, unbelievable pick, Trent. And
I was actually surprised he didn't get Bones. Like, I was just watching, and then I checked after, and I was just like, oh, really? Like, he's not in there? Like, created this chance, created that chance. Yeah, I was just like, okay.
Yeah, he was very close, but yeah.
Yeah.
Robbo at 6, like, both maybe, we don't know. Yeah, we don't know how risky the minutes are going to look when they are, Wednesday, Saturday, because, Slot did sub a lot and early.
He's been subbing a lot. Trent's banking the cleans.
Yeah, Trent's banking the cleans, which is probably speaks a lot more of his thoughts and how highly he rates Bradley, that the drop-off isn't that dramatic there versus the Robbo's not subbing off. Well, he subbed off the first game, but he's still getting back to fitness there. Yeah. So, him playing 90 is fine. But, if we're going to see him, really using Gakpo and Darwin more, and, maybe the 5 of them are a little bit more aggravating, Trent and Robbo seems pretty fucking good to me.
I know. Go back in time
Trent,
to
Robbo,
5 years ago, whatever that was. Yeah, it's just like, I remember there were seasons where it was just like, who's not going Trent Robbo game week 1? Like, you're a fucking crazy person for not doing that. Yeah. Robbo's taking more corners than he ever has. He's just straight up splitting them with Trent. Every right-sided corner, which is where we get the majority of corners because it's, Mo and Trent's side. And
in swingers.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Robbo is very much like on my list of like, well, Robbo's a fucking pick, and no one saw that coming.
I was so far left field for me there.
Yeah, and it does seem like if you were sort of like X-minsing it out or whatever, like you would probably just put all the non-Mo attackers around like 60-ish, right? Yeah. Because they're just gonna when they start, they're gonna get subbed. When they don't start, they're gonna sub on, and then that works. Reverse that. It works the same way. So. You obviously are holding if you own Diaz. You're obviously holding if you own Jota. But, there might come a time soon where that just seems like an expendable pick, and you gravitate more towards the defenders. I'm totally with you.
It could be, yeah. And I think the other thing, too, which is really interesting this year that we're going to be faced with here is they're going to be in direct conflict with the Arsenal defenders. And one thing that Trent Robbo has very emphatically is a lot of attacking return potential.
Assists.
And I mean, it's been 2 games and they played bad teams, but Liverpool look like to me a team that's going to keep 15-ish clean sheets this year. Yeah. Something in that range. So Trent, it feels like that is somewhere I'm like, ooh, that could be a really good early differential to go Trent and Robbo.
That's a good wild card.
Yeah, that could be a good wild card thing because I am totally back on what you said at postmortem about getting 3 defenders that you just don't touch and not rotate and not fuck with it. And going Trent Robbo plus 1 more, how is that going to be bad? It can't be bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And also you mentioned it earlier with the, Liverpool, Arsenal, City have less bad fixtures than every other team in the league. It's like, there's, unless there's just perfectly lines up where away Arsenal lines up with my backup defender, home fucking Ipswich, I'm never benching them. Doesn't matter, because they could just run into an assist or a clean or whatever goal.
It's not only that, but because of how lopsided the division is and how stressed those games are for the final point totals, of those 4 games that each of them have, 2 of the 4 games, they don't even play a game. There's just a couple of those games are that no one plays, and they're bad attacking fixtures. All of them are bad attacking fixtures, but they're not really bad defending fixtures for clean sheets because all 3 of those managers would shake hands on 0-0s against them all and back themselves that they're not going to lose another game the rest of the year against all these other teams. Totally, and they 100%. Set up that way. They've been setting that up that way for the last couple of years, the way the league's kind of shifted in that way. So,
Slot, I guess, is a little bit of a wild card in there because we don't really know how he's going to approach him because Klopp, it was not that way. Klopp would try and attack and win those games. But I assume he will be. I mean, it's sort of like default now, right? That like, you know, it's like back to Mourinho is like just draw the top teams and win every other game, and that, you know, that's enough.
Yeah.
There's something there.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. There's so much more to talk about. I wanted us to rank the 3 best Liverpool picks. How do we do that? I don't know how to do that. Is it just Mo, Trent, Robbo? Mo.
It's just Trent, the question. Jota? Yeah, I mean, the question's not reasonable because we don't know who the combos are, right? But I would say Mo is clear. Mo and Trent are 1A and 1B, and then Robbo, Diaz, and Jota Robbo and Jota are above Diaz for me, but in like the 2 category, and then and then Diaz I would put 3rd. Which is harsh on Diaz, and I still think he's a great pick. I think he might really be harsh in that 3rd tier, but also the 2nd best 7-5 mid and under in the game, right? Like, right. So that's relative.
There's just a lot of picks. They just price them very friendly, right? Like Jota and Diaz are priced like Martinelli, and they're fucking. It's a joke, you know. Like, I mean, Jota,
and Jota
should be like 9 or something.
Yeah, and this is the thing with Jota. I mean, he triple returned in the Brentford game another day. Like, that's just what he did. And the Ipswich game, he braced. You know, he didn't miss the better of the 2 incredible chance. He could just be he could have the most points in all the midfielders right now. Like, he's playing that well. He's getting he's that around. He had the assist that Robbo missed, the overhead kick that he didn't get. He has 2 and 2. I mean, Jota looks ridiculous. It's a ridiculous pick. So, you know, that's also tough, you know, to leave him out of like a wild card team. Doesn't seem like you should, you know, so that's so, but then, you know, looking at what does it look like if I have Robbo instead of him along with Trent versus, you know, I don't know, you know, I haven't like played with that, but that might be right.
Europe,
you know, it might be
Europe
right.
Europe is like the looming fucking monster under the bed that you're just like, I could wildcard now and be really happy with my team for 2 weeks. And then I'm like, oh my fucking God, my team's a nightmare because 2 of my 3 Liverpool guys got rested for this game and are starting away Real Madrid. And, you know, my Man City guys aren't playing, you know, like we have no idea what it's going to do with these more games and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Man, dude, we have too many questions already, over an hour. Fuck. Colin said, what are your thoughts on the premium midfielders? Kev is super tempting for me, but should we be concerned with Foden returning? Yada, yada. He's kind of saying, where do you rank Kev among Palmer, Mo, Saka? And then Al also said, do we hold old Son or take the points and sell immediately?
Sell Son immediately. That's an immediate sell for me with the fixtures. And, you know, I think the brace was pretty lucky. They play Arsenal, you know, they have some tough aways.
He fucking took the ball off of Pickford's fingertips.
Yeah.
Open net. There's been so many mistakes. And Burrich and Pickford, all these fucking idiots. I
just trust him, and just watching him and the washing of him and the peripheral nature of him, that I'm just still out there and I just, when I'm looking at all of them, he's just the obvious one that I want the least. You look at home, like everything had to line up perfectly for him to fucking haul ass. Everton, when they don't have any other guys, and fucking Ashley is hurt. Suspended on top of that. And Dom Solanke gets hurt for the first time in his actual career, and he plays striker. Like all of those, and Pickford has to gift him a goal. Yeah. Like all of those things had to occur. Yeah, and the Meg. I mean, the second goal he had, right? The Meg that should have just been saved. That was a bad angle, bad shot, just bad goalkeeping. And Fuckford's doing it all. But like he has Newcastle, Arsenal, at United, which in my view right now is a bad attacking fixture in Gameweek 6. Home Brenham, you know, Gameweek 5 will probably be okay. But yeah, I just, you know, I'm looking at Newcastle a bad attacking fixture. Maybe we're overrating them. That might be the case because, you know, they don't have Botmania. I mean, the central spine. And Bournemouth could have scored 3. They could have, yeah. I'm just imagining Newcastle back playing a little bit better personnel, and you know, at home where they do typically play a bit better, as just not like this is a good fixture. I mean, I still think that they're a good team and they do have a good collection of players, so it's more like a neutral fixture for me. But just like putting him above Palmer or Saka or Mo is insane. Yeah. So that's kind of how I see those. I agree with you, by the way, but I wouldn't
urgently transfer him out. Like there's,
that's fair.
most teams have a fucking Nkuku in their team or whatever. Yeah. That's an urgent transfer.
Yeah.
But
it's a good place to get money.
What about Kev though? Because that was Colin's question. Like Kev in this tier ranking.
Yeah, no, he's not.
He
he's
also
just
got
not.
gifted a goal.
Yeah, he's just not for me. I mean, he looked a lot better in this game. It's hard to look better than the way he looked in Chelsea. He was really good. He was putting balls on dimes again. But Europe, I think, is going to be a real big issue for him this year. Because of how that the games actually matter, and it's not just going to be they are in Europe for 3 weeks and then they walk the group and then they're not in Europe until the quarterfinals. Yeah. So, I just don't. And the other thing too with the bonus points shifting is the goals are so much more matter a lot more than the assists to me. So, he's usually an assister. He's getting his points on assists. And in the past, that was good for bonus. Like getting assists, he would just get 6-point assists every time. And I don't believe that's going to be the case this year. And he's just older. He's older, he's slower, he's, more susceptible to needing to be managed. And, I don't see him remotely close in the same kind of category or echelon of pick as these other 4 premiums. And he's close enough in price, where it matters, more to me. But yeah. Savio is an interesting one over there for me.
Well, I mean, listen, again, didn't watch the games, theme of the episode, but he gets fouled for like a weird pen, which I didn't even see a replay that was a good enough angle to be like, that was definitely a pen. I was like, didn't he just kick it out of bounds and then dive? Like, I'm not even sure. And then he takes it off of Murich's fucking hands and like gets a second assist out. I'm like, what? Where are the real assists here? Like, what? Yeah. I was expecting to watch like some master class. Like, oh my god, this guy's the next best winger in the world. And I was like, this is his assist. Like, what is this?
They weren't the most beautiful of assists, but he's still very lively and very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, he's cool. I like watching him.
Yeah, and unlike Kevin, he's not 9'5", he's 6'5". So he's we always like chase that Man City midfielder. Yeah, he's good. He's good. He might not start any given game, but I certainly would be happier having him than Doku, for example, in this moment.
Hey, shots fired.
Just saying.
Yeah. Okay. Let's jump to some questions maybe and then wrap it up.
Sure.
I didn't even get through all the questions on Discord, but here are some. And Ben said Flecken has 6 saves in each of the first 2 games. Do we think Brentford will keep some clean so the saves and cleans lead to bones? Or are they just going to keep giving up a goal because they're giving up so many shots?
They look bad to me. They look like they're in a bit of trouble. Probably a bit more trouble than anyone is willing to admit. But every year that passes and they keep running out Danish NPC midfielders, it's just catching up to them, and they, in both games, weren't good for the win in Palace. They're going to lose at Anfield every year. Doesn't matter. But yeah, I think the defense is a bit brittle. And, we also noticed, right, he didn't play he parked against Anfield most of the game, but he also didn't play the 5-3, 5-5, 5-4-1. It was, he played Kane Lewis-Potters as like a little outlet. He was playing more forward, and they were playing out from the back and stretching it wide a little bit more. And, they were okay playing out from the back. Liverpool didn't press like too intensely in the Brenham third. It seemed like happy to win the ball back, deeper in the pitch when Brenham kind of sold off, and then they dumped it up to, the left wing for KLP or Bumo on the right wing, who had a hard time. But yeah, it's just another year on, and it's just the same kind of brick shithouse, slow fucks in midfield. So, I think that this is and should be viewed as a bottom 6 defense. So do you want a goalkeeper on them? It's not that bad. He got 7 points in 2 game weeks. Do you want a defender? No, you don't. But do you want a goalkeeper? If he keeps at the 3.5 points per game, projection or whatever, or extrapolation, that's a great 4 or 5 goalkeeper. But it certainly isn't filling you with confidence, because
a month ago we were kind of sitting here being like, oh, they might, get it back together, blah, blah, but it's like Henry's still out. Hickey's still out. Like me, I think didn't play either, right? Like I'm just like, actually they're just like the exact same fucking team as last year, and
it's still Jansen, Janelt, and Norquist.
Rorslev is still starting every game.
Still playing.
He's awful. Like he's always been awful. Like
yeah,
a little bit of a problem there. Yeah, he was on the bench, so maybe that might make a huge difference. I liked your shout of Vandenberg on the monologue pod. Maybe they start through at the back, and he's like pretty classy on the ball. He can do some stuff, but right this second, it doesn't feel like a good place to go. I'm with you there.
Yeah.
It's like they hinge so much on Norgard, and he just gets a year older every year. Yeah. He's really good, but it's just every year. It's like, okay, he's over 30 now. Like, at what point? Yeah.
They just keep buying wingers, and they don't reinvest in the engine room there, and it's showing.
I think we kind of answered this already, but Bolter said Arsenal defense feels essential. Should we rush to get one in if we don't already own one? I mean, we addressed it with Trent and Robbo, but I think that it bears repeating that, like, I don't know. I watched that game and I was like, this is a team conceding huge chances to Villa. Like, I know they kept it clean, and Raya's saves were fucking unbelievable, and Saliba's such a good player, but like, they should have conceded in both games. I don't really see them right now as like they're clicking on all cylinders and they're just going to 20 cleans, guarantee, no problem. And they have really bad fixtures coming up. 4 cleans specifically, with home Brighton, away Spurs. I think you could say they're still good attacking fixtures, but not good clean fixtures. And then away City is obviously bad for everything. But yeah, it's not urgent to me at all.
Yeah, the main bigger issues, I do think that they'll approach, something like 16 to 19 or whatever. Like
they're still the best defense.
Yeah, I still think that they're the best defense. I still expect them to have the most clean sheets in the league this year. The main difference is just you're just not getting a lot of attacking threat from any of them. They're obviously a better than average set piece team, and they win more set pieces on average than most teams because it's Arsenal. They're one of the best teams in the league. But, you're pinning a lot on, them kind of high rolling those goals from Gabriel and Saliba, and they're fine holds, and they're going to be they're always good. They're always good to start, and most games they're going to get 6 points when they clean, and that's never going to kill you. The bigger thing to me with them that is fucking tilted me to all hell is David Raya has 18 points through these first 2 game weeks. Speaking of the bonus point system, I don't understand it. Never have, never will. 18, dude, he got fucking 10-pointer against Villa. He didn't get a fucking bonus point last year, like all goddamn year, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, he got 6 bonus points last year.
Yeah, he has 4 already.
He has 4 already, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he has... Last year, I had him for 3 months. He didn't get 3 saves. He got maybe once in 3 months. Exactly 3 saves in both these games.
Yeah.
4 bonus points. Like, what the fuck is that? And he's like owned by, I feel like everyone has him. I'm like, well, since when did everyone getting fucking spending 5-5 on this 6-point ceiling merchant who we thought? And he has played 3 games. He's gotten 3 clean sheets in 2 games. I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
I know.
It's crazy.
I know.
And I don't think like we missed something. It's obviously the cheapest nailed route in, which
as far as I know, they didn't even change the goalie bonus points.
I don't know what they do. I have no clue.
I don't know.
I have no idea, dude. But anyway, the defense,
you're not gonna... who's always been so good on bonus points, has 1 bonus point and also 2 cleans.
Yeah.
And he has 2 saves in each game. So, like, there's people who went Allison instead of Raya, and they're like, wait, why am I in this hole right now? Like, I don't know.
It's
very
crazy.
weird. But yeah, I'm with you on the defenders. Never going to kill you. I also just think, we've talked about this ad nauseum over the years, but like, when is Gabriel going to get his corner goals? Roll a fucking 38-sided dice, because that's the best way of knowing, when he's going to score them.
Yeah.
Versus like, when is Trent going to get 10 crosses? I can list you those games right now. Like home against the bad teams, when Liverpool just like piles it on, he's going to create more good chances than away Man City. When Gabriel might score. And then you don't even start him. Like, you transfer him out.
Yeah. And, looking at Gabriel, Saliba looks like he's getting a little bit better at attacking set pieces than, like, beginning of last year, in memory. But you also look at Gab's returns, and he has 3 goals and 1 assist last year, 3 goals 2022, and 5 goals in 2021. You're looking at, between 3 and 5. And that's what you're going to get. Trent, he's going to get 18 returns. Poro is going to get 14 attacking returns.
Yeah, looks like it.
And the amount of bonus, to the attacking returns plus the amount of bonus that these other players are going to be accruing compared to just the base of the 4 points for the clean sheet, like that in my view, would overpower and overcome the Arsenal one. So it's tough. It's a tough one because they're all good picks. It's just, where's the edge? Is this an edge? I don't know.
Yeah. But, I guess it's like if you agree with our evaluation of Liverpool's defense, then there's no room to get there. But if you think that Arsenal are going to get 8 to 10 more cleans than Liverpool, then obviously it's worth it. That's 40 points more, I don't think the assists are going to make up for that.
Yeah.
That's basically how it is.
And this is also just noting it, right? Like VVD. There is no world that I would pick VVD over one of the Arsenal defenders. There's no chance because
shot.
Their defense
same
is
amount of goal upside and the worst defense. Yeah.
Strictly worse defense, right? But Trent and Robbo are just that different category there. So which makes, to me, really hard to kind of for the Arsenal defenders to kind of shoulder their way in. Which may, Raya, I mean, maybe Raya is a fucking god tier pick.
Maybe Raya's the pick.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about Porro for a sec. I forgot to ask you, are you planning on just hold him till you wildcard and then think about it? He has away Newcastle, home Arsenal next 2, with not great fixtures after that, but, obviously he has all the attacking stuff. I've already been is this my million to turn Hendo, the worst fucking keeper in the league, into a 5-5 keeper, or something? Fix some other path in my team? Or am I being stupid and you think I should just hold?
I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not decided on this because, we're sitting here with all of our 5 free transfer stockpile talk and wild card and, we're setting yourself up. You can do that as much as you want and you can't change, 8 players every 5 weeks if the numbers don't match.
Yeah.
So, you can if you take hits, maybe there's some type of, always sunny meme where you have the things or, you have some,
it's just called a FPL review nowadays.
Sure, right. That too. But, is Porro a spot on your team that you're going to be looking at these chunks to try and steal, some, wins with getting him rid of on some, perceived little trickier fixture runs? I don't know. I just feel like, Arsenal, City, Liverpool, I'm not really wanting to start him in those 6 games. But at Newcastle, it's not good. I don't expect to clean, and it's fine. You don't know when the attacking returns are going to come. That's the thing. He got 11 last year. 11 is a big number.
Again, comparing it to Gabriel, right? It's let's just say he gets 11 again, right? That's almost 1 in 3.
Yeah.
And he might get 16.
Yeah. And they might clean more than 7 times. So, Porro to me is just never going to be a problem. And slightly, maybe even underpriced, where I do think that Spurs can keep, 10 cleans this year.
As long as the guys stay
fit. As long as they have
and,
fit, right? Yeah. And if they keep 10 cleans and Porro, say he only gets 7 returns, that's 1 and 2. And that's not a player that shouldn't be, for a 5 million, that's not a player that should not be in your team.
Yeah.
So, I kind of do see him more as part of the furniture than, where Munoz, I kind of entered the season thinking that way, and I'm wavering very strongly on that. So I do feel like Porro's worth kind of holding and riding out, but you're also asking a different question though. Is this my worst pick and I really need money? That's possible. That might be possible for your team because, those are 2 sort of separate questions, but
it's an interesting one. We'll talk more about our teams on Thursday, but I'm leaning towards I want 3 frees after an international break and after the transfer window closes rather than this guy might not be the best pick. This guy might not be the best pick. I don't know who the best pick is. I kind of just want to chill because my team's good, but we'll get there next on Thursday. Yeah. I'll be back in New York. My camera will be nicer.
And I'm leaning that way as well. I have started to little bit think about wild carding, but if anything, I might just want to do it after the break, and just really look at, I'm going to do it soon because I need to restructure is sort of how I look at my team. And, Bowen's an issue and my defense is a very big issue. But I don't want to spend a transfer, on Zinchenko, when I can save and wild card or whatever. Starting Mitchell and Munoz at Chelsea is bad. So is spending 2 transfers on 2 defenders. That's
dude?
Bad too.
I have your FPL username and password, and Arsenal the first game this week. Might have to be me waking up for the leak situation, and if Zinchenko's in the team or not in the team, might have to make a move there.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine a world where Zinchenko starts against Minta. It feels like would be malpractice.
Yeah, but
I'm operating.
Looked amazing in 20 minutes.
Yeah, and Timber's a good defender. I mean, I don't know why he's even at the club still, Zinchenko. Maybe he'll leave this week. It's possible, but regardless, I'm looking at him as a write-off. I mean, just if I have to start Mitchell and Munoz this week, I feel like that's just I just kind of have to do it. And, admit a little bit of defeat there. And, hopefully there are hopefully Man United score and hopefully Brighton score. And then I'm not in too much trouble. And that's all I need, versus, if they both clean, then I'm going to be in trouble against the field. But, and then maybe I ride out the Leicester and then maybe I'm wild carding before game week 5, is sort of what I'm looking at trying to do is just save 2 more times and then do a big overhaul, where then I probably would get rid of Holland, or maybe I wouldn't get rid of, but I would make a lot of changes. That's sort of what I'm looking at doing, but
yeah, that makes sense.
You look like an easy save to me though.
Yeah. I mean, I thought about that exact double move because it just lines up really nicely. Like Porro, I get a 4-5 in who can, sometimes start for Nico, sometimes start for Leif Davis, just a good, there's plenty of good picks to choose from. And I go Hendo to Raya. Or Hendo to Allison. And I'm just so set, that just makes I feel like that makes my 11 way better. But is that worth 2 frees when my 11's already good? No, I don't think so. So I'll probably save.
Yeah.
As long as Doku's starting, I still want to chill, but as soon as he's dropped, it's an emergency.
Yeah. I mean, the idea of buying time while stockpiling these transfers is so attractive to me and then using wildcard as it's playing out, because we're going to just know pretty much as we need to know by game week 5. I mean, there's going to be a little bit more questions about Europe and how some teams might rotate, but setting up to wildcard and then you still have 5 transfers, then you're in a really powerful position to be able to really target these fixture swings like we're talking about and shift specific players or spots while you have, this more broad, outer position set in stone, like the Ezes and the Bumos, where it almost is like a few years ago, where those, I want to have those kind of guys set up for glue. And then I can change Semenyo with ESR because that's a spot that I'm going to play around with, or, versus, something. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about doing. And
makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't do all these questions and just save them for Thursday when I'm home and it's not late and I'm on a shitty mic and all, yada, yada, yada.
I think we're in good shape. We talked about most everything. I mean, the one other thing I did just want to throw out is, Southampton look like probably the best fixture in the league for attack and for captaincy. They are really fucking horrible.
And for cleans.
For everything. They're bad.
They can lay a fucking glove on NFL.
They're playing the same way, it sounds like, that they played last year, and they're all worse than every player, one-to-one matchup against the other team, pretty much up and down the league. And it doesn't seem like it's changing. I mean, Southampton are going to get fucking destroyed a few times this year. So I just wanted to mention that just because I had an eye on that game of the NFO. Yeah, I mean, it was misleading. NFO are their own issue, but it's the 1-0 was so misleading, that fixture. I mean, NFO could have scored 4. And Southampton
I'm checking my phone at the Fulham match, being hope, Nico, hold this clean, because I have no idea what's actually happening. All I see is 1-0. And then you look at the numbers and you look at the highlights and you're like, oh, this was not even a game. NFL could have won 4-0 and that wouldn't have been that unfair. So that was good to see. Good job with the boys there.
Tony, we still don't know, but Bumo's
Tony,
he's sitting there.
We haven't even talked about Bumo being he's 5 days away from being the best pick in the game.
Yeah.
And then we have to rip up everything we just said. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go Porro to 4-5 and Doku to Bumo. And I'm like, oh, yep. That's just auto good,
Because that's looking at, and I haven't done the math, but if you have a no Holland team with, Eze and Bumo as your 2 immovable, it's a 3-5-2, and then you have Mo and Saka and Palmer. So I'm sure you can make that team.
Yeah, for sure.
Or maybe, I mean, seems good.
I think you can. Yeah.
I don't know. Or Trent,
terrific.
maybe you don't have, maybe it's Trent, then maybe there's one. I don't know. I mean, there's shit you could do without Haaland. I think if the things happen as we're seeing them, that's maybe you have to sacrifice one of the midfield premiums. I don't know. Maybe
I want to talk more about Haaland on Thursday because I want to have a Haaland out plan. But I look at away West Ham, home Brentford. I'm like, I think I'm overthinking. This isn't the time.
Yeah. It's just more because then there's 5-6 where it's Arsenal, Newcastle, which, we don't know how bad at Newcastle is if they have no center backs. At that time, that game might not be bad at all. Obviously, the Arsenal fixture is bad. But then it's Fulham, Wolves, Southampton, Bournemouth. It's like...
Yeah, home.
So
Fulham.
we're Haaland out for 2 games, and then we want him immediately for game. It's like we're spending
the most expensive player in FPL history. I mean, maybe yes, maybe that's something that the 5 freeze allows us to do.
Yeah,
that we wouldn't have before. Like, let's just say a lot of people wildcarding 4 or 5 or whatever. You have 5 frees. You do make a triple move to get Haaland back from home Fulham. Why wouldn't you?
You could. Yeah, you just have to have a good plan of which spots you're doing that to.
Yeah. It's tough. Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough.
All right, let me slap some asses. We'll cut it short this week. Cut it short at an hour and a half as we do. Right. Yeah. Bunch of new signups. Ton of new signups. Thank you, everyone. Einar Olsen, Jeff Smith, Farhat Boulou, Jeremy, Matt DM, Cal Shea, Hunter Lombard, Colin Raddick, Pants, Josh Dungpie, JD, and Andrew DeFranco. Yes, baby. Get in there. Thank you, everyone, for signing up. I'm sweating my fucking tits off because they don't have air conditioning here.
When are you back?
Back on Wednesday.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Okay, so we'll figure out our schedule.
Yeah. I'll be good to go for normal Thursday pod, live stream, all the shit. There's no Friday game, please, right?
No Friday game.
Oh, we're good to go, dude. Yeah. We're good.
Okay.
Any last words?
See you tomorrow.
Check us out at FMLFPL.com. Follow us on Twitter at FMLFPL, sportspage.com/FMLFPL. Subscribe, rate, review.